Hello, Mr. Earl.
Hello. Nice to see you.
It's good to see you too. I came down to visit with you a little bit this afternoon, and I'm interested in your ideas about friendship because I wasn't raised a Lutheran.
I know.
But from what I understand, you were.
I was, yes. And I brought my wife with me down there.
Oh, you made her into a Lutheran.
She was a Baptist. Made a Lutheran out of her, and she loved it.
Well, good. Well, so have you always gone to Friendship?
I always went to Friendship. When I was a little boy, about 8, 9 years old, we rode the wagon to the church, and there's a big bunch of pine trees over, not a big bunch, but several pine trees in that, right in the crossroads over there, that V.
Right.
That's where we'd tie the horses to. And then we'd walk across the road to the church. And the church only had 2 entrances back then. And the women would go on the left side, and the men would sit on the right side.
Separated.
Separated, and had a big old pot-belly wood stove in the middle of the aisle over there to heat the stove. And they had a rope down from the bell, just ring the bell inside.
Right.
So it was pretty good shape right then. I believe John Bowman was the one that always built the fires. But
so who would John Bowman have been? Who were his?
I guess I'm thinking of Calvin, Susie Bowman and them's brother.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, and so we didn't have no running water in the church at that time. And from the pulpit going back to the assembly room, and there was a door there, and there always a bucket of water sitting there with a dipper in it, and we all had to drink out of that dipper.
Mm-hmm.
And of course later on we got water and had some spigots outside, and of course us boys we enjoyed that.
I bet you
We'd
did.
have something on our feet. We'd go barefooted.
So what did you wear to church?
I wore overalls. We had a pair of shoes. Sometimes it'd be the ones that we had to pick cotton in, and we didn't have no Sunday clothes like
But they were clean, I bet.
They was clean. My mother scrubbed them things on a washboard under the oak tree down there. Oh boy, I tell you, I felt sorry for her when I got bigger.
Right.
Yeah. And so we go back to the assembly room there, and that's where we'd assemble, and then we'd have to go upstairs to our Sunday school class. Because I think it was 4 rooms upstairs in that old building. And I can't remember who my teacher was at that time. I know Earl Bowman's wife taught, and Miss Austin, I guess, was a teacher too, probably, but she might have had a older group. And but we didn't have any bathrooms. The ladies had some out back behind the church there for the Johnny houses, we called them. And the men, they'd take off up through the cemetery to the woods. There's a big oak tree out there in the yard, and they'd all gather around it when they have a break in the service.
Right.
And some of them would chew their tobacco, and some of them would smoke. And I don't know what they talk about.
Just whatever came to their mind.
I know,
don't you
yeah.
reckon?
But that's I can get on this here now. What is the fondest memory?
Yeah.
Yeah, I won't read that out. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Well, I really can't tell you what was the fondest memory. I know when we had homecoming, we'd have food out there on a big old wire table between the trees, and they'd always have a wash tub full of lemonade, and boy, I'm telling you, that was good.
Maybe we'll bring that back.
Yeah, I think I want to. Well, you got the supper in
Right.
Casey, that place now, and
What do you think has been the biggest challenge that our church has had over the years in your lifetime?
building a new church.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause I think, and paying for it, getting it paid for, and what I liked about it, it was every family paid some on it. It seemed like everybody got to help pay for it. They felt like it was theirs, and they
Contributed. Everybody
yeah, that's
contributed.
right. Yeah.
When you think about friendship, what brings you the most joy?
Well, the people, the love of your joy from the people. That's a loving church. And
Well, that's what we're supposed to be
I
now.
know that's the name of the game is love. But friendship, you don't know how good they are till you get in a situation where you need them.
Right.
Now they really did come to see me, a lot of them, and when I was in a nursing home, and they bought me food since I've come home and visit, and called, and it's just been joy to think about how good they are.
Right.
And they do everybody that way, more or less. They're just a good bunch of people. And we got a minister now that I think if he stays, he'll carry that church on good. I love to see how he's teaching the young people.
Right.
And I want to see the video every week. And he's doing a wonderful job. He's a good preacher. And them little children that tickles them to death to bring that money up. I don't in that bucket.
They get excited.
Yeah, they do. And it's had the friendships had a big impact on my life. It's just, I've just enjoyed going. Of course, I didn't, back when I was young, like everybody else, I didn't attend too regular. War come up. I left, there's 3 years and I was absent from it. I think Reverend Kyles was the pastor at that time while I was gone. And I went overseas, stayed for most of my time, 2.5 years. And we lost, friendship lost five members up there, got killed in World War II. There's Marvin Stafford and Rayford Bowman and
Raymond
Eisenhower. And I think it was Eugene Goebel. He got killed. That was Madeline.
Oh, okay. Right.
Brother.
I would imagine that when you got home and the war was over and you came back to church, you were overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I would assume.
Yeah. They had changed the church around. They didn't have but one entrance in.
Right.
Yeah. And that way we wouldn't mean to the women. They couldn't sit on one side and then again on the other. They well,
Didn't have to separate anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get to hear Kyle's preach much. And I think I can't think who come after Kyle's. I believe Shipton, maybe.
Right, I remember.
Yeah, yes. And then we built that new parsonage out there. See, we've just built, and done good. The church has, I think. All that's God's work. And Pastor Shipton, he didn't have no water out there. It had a well, but it wasn't clear.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a big old 2.5 gallon jar here, and I'd take him water up there, and he'd always just shine that glass jar, and he said, "Man, that looks pretty." He enjoyed that. And I think Pastor Dorton was he lived in the parsonage too. After he might have lived in it before Shipton.
Right.
He had big dogs he kept in there.
I bet that got people excited.
Yeah. Albert Bowman, he was on him about getting them dogs out of there. But
so, can you think of a time in your life when you saw God at work at Friendship?
well, yes, I do. About all the time, all the things that we've done and ever the ministers He's sent us
Mm-hmm.
and pastors. Don't like to see all them empty pews.
Right.
And I'd like to see them filled, but I don't think it's going to be happening anyway soon. If it's not a turnaround in the world, in this country, I don't think it in the next 10 years churches are going to grow much.
Really?
And I watch a lot of churches on TV,
Mm-hmm.
and they've got the empty pews too.
Is there anything that you could think of that would help us resolve that?
Like I say, if there's any turnaround in the world, the country, I don't think so. We've got too much crime. We've got drugs. Just people taking them drugs and dying, and somebody right behind them will follow. I think it's going to be a big handicap.
But maybe they could, if they had somebody like you to lead the way,
Well,
maybe they could start turning the world back around the way it should be.
well, I know. I don't think I'll be able to turn it around, but
Hey.
I'd love to.
You never know what your face might do to inspire somebody. You're too modest. You're too modest. Well, I think we've answered all the questions. What else do you want to tell us?
Well, these questions you can about here answer most of them.
Oh, yeah.
One thing.
You've already answered, of course. And what did you say it all boiled down to? You said it all boiled down to love.
That's right.
That's what you said.
Love. And I think we got that at Friendship. Now, I haven't got to hear the preacher, Pastor Jacob Tucker, preach in the church, but my health's keeping me away, and I don't know whether I'll ever be able to go back or not.
Well, you get your videos and don't laugh when you see this week's. But it's okay if you want to.